No. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Are we going to do a little swapsy? Or should we do like?
Yeah, I think like
So we've got a little show and tell. Should we go back to whatever we brought in? Do you know? Should we see what we brought in? So I brought in pictures of my family. So I've got one of my grandmother and my late grandfather. I've got one about sisters because sisterhood is extremely important to me, and I've got one of my parents.
Oh, nice.
So for me, I think when it comes to identity, it's the Kashmiri heritage. But also, I guess, the Britishness that plays a part in why we're in this country today, I guess, my family. So my grandfather was actually a politician in Pakistan for Kashmir, so he fought for, when he was in elected parliament for Kashmir and Mirpur at the time. And yeah, it's a very interesting story, but his grandfather was a recruiter for the British Army, which was India at the time. And ever since then, it's like politics has been a big thing. I guess human rights has been a big thing. Just, I guess, speaking about things that you believe in has always been a big thing, and being quite politically active or politically aware, socially aware, and I guess always speaking your truth. So that's definitely inherited in terms of family. And I think when I speak about representation or diversity and inclusion, or talk about my Done with Diversity campaign, or speak about language and terminology, it's not a PR exercise, it's more about people's lives and people's right to opportunity, people's right to belonging, to be seen and that kind of stuff. So it's more of a live thing than it is, this is a good PR exercise for brands. It's way more deeper than that. So yeah, I want to see your little show and tell.
This is my show and tell. It's a very blurry picture, but it's very, very dear to me. This is my grandparents lived, well, my mum and her family lived in the south of Malaysia in this town called Johor Bahru. And in order to make things meet, as like, you know, lots of migrant families do, my grandparents had a shop where they sold food, but it was kind of more like a space, and then there were multiple different kind of stalls / open kitchens. So I remember opposite us there was like a Chinese lady, and it was called Chapati Corner, and this is actually the only picture that we have of it for some reason. Yeah, and it actually looks slightly different. I remember it slightly different to how it looks there. But every morning, my nanny would wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the market and then buy like whatever she was going to cook that day, and then spend the entire morning cooking. And then around 1 or 2 o'clock, she'd go and open Chapati Corner and then be there until about 10 o'clock at night, and then come back and play her little PlayStation. Like my nanny had a PlayStation, she loved to play. And this is just very, very dear to me because pretty much all of my memories of Malaysia from when my nanny was alive includes Chapati Corner in some way, shape or form. Like I lived in Malaysia with my nanny and my nana ji as a baby, and yeah, like summer holidays, I just have summer holiday memories of being in Chapati Corner with them and like helping my nanny peel garlic at like 7 years old, and then not being able to get the smell of garlic out of my hands, and her teaching me to like make rotiya there, and yeah, just meeting like her regular customers. And she always used to make me like this roti with sugar, and I actually hated it because I thought it tasted nasty, but I ate it to make her happy.
It's a
So yeah, this is a picture of Chapati Corner, which is very, very dear to my family. And then kind of on a similar tangent, I also bought some prashad. This is from the Gurdwara. I went to the Gurdwara yesterday, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, prashad is made from equal amounts of flour and butter, and then I think they mix it and then they make a paste, and then you can add sugar if you want. And yeah, this is just like an offering that you take after you pray, or sometimes the Yanis hand it out. And yeah, I mean, I guess in a similar vein, my grandparents, as you can probably tell, are very, very, very important to me. So the Gurdwara is a place that I can go, even though I don't necessarily think I'm the most religious.
But what is
it's a
most
place.
religious? Like,
it's a place that you can go. I go to like just feel close to them, and I find it very, very soothing.
You find it peaceful, right?
Yeah, I find it very soothing. So yeah, I bought some prashad because that's become obviously very important to me since my grandparents have all passed away.
I love that.